Sage of Darkness. A dark organization created for the resurrection of the great mage Erikson. Unlike the returning monarch, this organization's key members are all humans, and they manage various businesses and dark families all over the continent, taking in all kinds of resources and human testing subjects. The Darren Barony is one of their main bases. The Sage of Darkness holds control over all of the Darren Dark family's organizations, making it a safe place for them, with the festivities celebrating the prevention of the demonification in place. The timing was perfect for the Sage of Darkness to plot something. However, Darren Dark family is on the verge of collapse as Mord and his gang has attacked them. A yellow-haired guy is escaping from them, but he is being caught, and he asked they Mord about their identity and the reason for his massacre. Mord says that this time the harvest is bigger than he expected, as they has caught the left hand of the Sage. The Sage of Darkness is led by 12 higher-ups. Of those, the top 3 are the mouth of the Sage, the right hand of the Sage, and the left hand of the SGA. The one thing they have in common is that they all possess a world fragment. This is because the vessel for Erikson's revival is the world fragments. According to the novel 2 years from now, the Sage of Darkness will succeed in collecting all the world fragments and will successfully resurrect Erikson. After that, they end up getting all of their fragments taken from them by Aiden. But Mord can't let that future happen. So he decides to get rid of these guys who will eventually being doomed to this world, and at the same time, he will also obtain the world fragments. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Mord then tells Leon to be careful, as this guy is the second strongest amongst the Dark Disciple, and he also possesses a world fragment. Hearing this, the guy gets shocked and asked, how did he know so much about him? Currently, Mord possesses 10 world fragments, so he has gotten into a level where he can easily see if the other person possesses a world fragment or not. As Mord is about to make his move, Leon stops him and tells him to leave this to him, as he also wants to test the new strength he has gained after going through hell, a divine blood. Are you a Vernars? I see why you are all so confident about... The guy says this after seeing Leon's aura. The guy then starts to bring out his mana and casts magic. Leon gets excited seeing this. He rushed towards the guy at full speed. The guy uses a 5th circle magic serpent of the eastern lands. As he finished casting the magic, some snakes appears out of mid-air and attacks Leon. Leon easily dodged them and gets closer to the guy. As Leon gets close, the guy casts another magic. This is a 6th circle magic called the Curse of the Souls. The guy touches Leon's chest and puts the cursing magic in him. After that, the guy laughs, saying that now feel the unbearable pain. Leon didn't show any signs of discomfort. He raises his hand and using his lightning-like power, he smashed the head of the guy. Leon then says, unbearable pain. I was beaten to the brink of death 200 times by the god of combat yesterday. Seeing this, Mord compliments Leon for learning the divine combat physique so quickly. Leon gets a bywise shy and tells Mord that although he can use it, but it's not on the level of Mord's. Mord tells him not to rush himself, as he has made great progress. After that, we can see that one of the members of the Sage is alive, and he has seen all of this from a narrow alley. The guy sees this and gets scared, so he thinks to flew away, will all the secret documents and tell the other members about this incident. At that time, Keel gets there and puts his knife on the man's neck and asks that, where is he going? The man gets shocked, and after properly looking at Keel, he asked, what is that in his hand? Keel replies that it's a thing that he has obtained from the guys that he has killed just now. No! There's no way! They should have gone through the secret path. The man says this in panic. Keel then smiles and says that this kind of thing is his specialty. After that, he puts the man in eternal slumber. After that, the 3 of them leave this place and goes towards a field. Their Mord tells them that they should go to the White Demon realm where the Gatekeeper Legion is. That's good for me, but we were promised 8 months by General Ilden. We've only been out here for 4 months, Keel says. Mord then think that the Sliverblood group will catch up to them, and if they get rid of them, the Silverblood will use the last trick up their sleeves. Mord think that he need to get more stronger, and at this current rate he can't guarantee that Keel and Leon will survive if they faced with the blood of silver. Leon has received the god of combat's blessings, but he need time to master it. Keel has also obtained aura by consuming the nectar, but he hasn't gotten used to it yet. Even if Mord have immense talent and knowledge of the future, he was able to collect all these fragments as easily as he did because of Keel. Leon was also somewhat helpful. After that, they all decide to go back to the Gatekeeper Legion. Later we can see that a group of Sliverblood members are chasing Mord and his team. The leader of the Silver Blood team tells his subordinates to track every step of Mord's and assemble their members, as they will be meeting Mord's team right about here. Mord and the other two are running at full speed towards the Gatekeeper Legion. While they are running, Mord tells them that the Sliverblood guys are chasing them, and they won't be able to avoid running into them, so he tells Leon and Keel to not let their guard down. As they are running, Mord noticed something, and he stops instantly. In front of Mord, a magic ball explodes. As they stops, the leader of Sliverblood group comes in front of them, and he says his greetings to Mord's. Seeing him, Mord launches his Mirage destruction attack. The guy then moves his hand and changes the direction of the attack. Seeing this, Mord gets shocked, and he wonders if this is an exclusive skill or an item. The guy then looks at Mord and smiles, saying that he is quite impatient. Well, it's obvious that you're from the blood of silver, and even if you aren't, I don't think my reaction would have been any different considering the number of men you have hiding out with weapons at the ready, Mord says. Hearing this, the guy compliments Mord for having such keen senses. Mord then asks the guy that if he is a higher up of the blood of silver, 4th tier 24-hour, white silver, or perhaps 16 steps to heaven. Hearing this, the man's expression changes and he gets mad. He looks fiercely at Mord and asked that how did he know this much about them. This is the 3rd time I'm fighting you guys. Wouldn't it be more strange for me to not know anything at all? Mord replies. The man thinks that Mord is dangerous, and he can't let his go, as the info about the 16th steps are top secret. Even many members of the Sliverblood are unaware of this. In the mean, while Mord uses his sense to get that actual number of people hiding behind the bushes and trees, he gets that including this man, there are a total of 27 people. Later, all them members come out of hiding and surround the 3 of them. The members also take out their weapons and are fully ready to slice them apart. Among this 27, 5 of them are Divine Bloods, and the rest are Atlas intermediate-level executives. Mord then tells Leon and Keel that as there are 27 of them, they will be taking on 9 each. Keel reply that it is not a problem for him, but it will be a bit hard for Leon. Hearing this, Leon tells Keel to take 3 more, and he will only be dealing with the rest. 6. Saying this, Leon opens his Divine Blood awakening, and Keel also takes his stand. The members of the Sliverblood also opens their Divine Blood and tells Leon and Keel that they are underestimating them. After that, the members takes permission from the man and rushed towards them. The man tells him to kill the others except for Mord. The Divine Bloods attacks Leon with Impulse Ball, but Leon dodged each of them easily. Leon then insults them, saying that if they learnt it just now. Hearing this, the guys gets mad and looks at Leon like as they are going to tear him apart. On the side of Keel, he has been rushed by 4 men. Keel uses his spirit summon magic and summons the wind spirits and instantly knocks out the 4 men. The guy with Divine Blood is only standing. The guy tells Keel that it's a bit surprising, as they weren't told that Keel is a master rank magic combat artist. Then it seems you need to get new informants, huh? Why don't you replace them all while you're at it? Keel says this and smiles. Hearing this, the guy rushed, saying that he will think about it after killing him. The guy attacks Keel with his sword. Keel blocks it with his blue sword, but the strength of this guy is stronger than Keel, so he is having a hard time blocking the attack. The guy then pushed Keel with his sword and tells Keel to struggle as hard as he can. As it's been a while, he has killed a master. Now let's move towards Mord. The fight between Mord and the leader hasn't started yet. The leader asked Mord that why is there only 3 of them, as the blind monster, aka Ilen, should have put all the elites on him to try and keep him alive. Mord didn't say anything. He smiles as he was the one who knocked out the whole squad. Mord then tells the man that if he used all the forces he had to try and stop him from the beginning, he would have had a hard time. But even right now, there are only a couple from the 24-hour white silver. The man gets furious and strats to give a ominous aura. He tells Mord that he will kill him before he continue his yapping. The man challenges Mord, the successor of Vernars, and says that he is Ruth, the successor of the god of lake and peace. Saying this, Ruth swings his sword and opens his divine blood and tells Mord that he will show him that what it's like to fight him at a lakeside. Mord stands still and closely analyses Ruth, and gets that he is using the 2nd level of divine blood opening, and he also has an artifact. The man then looks at Mord and starts to say something about his squad that is formed for killing him. But Mord stops him midway and tells him to look around before getting arrogant. Upon hearing this, Ruth gets nervous, and he heightens his senses. He hears sounds of sword clashing. After that, he turns and sees that his fellow group members are getting brutally beaten and are knocked out by none other than Erna Vernars, and Erna comes here with her subordinate, and she smiles, seeing Mord. And she asked Mord that if she is too late or not. Last night, Mord met with Erna. As Erna has put her trust on him, so Mord decided to tell her the truth about the vile acts of the Archduke Vernars. Mord tells Erna that the Archduke Vernars eats his own children in order to maintain his youth. And so for the proof, Mord shows Erna the messages between the blood of silver and Archduke Vernars. Seeing this, Erna gets angry as their hero is the villain himself. Now back to the present. By seeing Erna, Ruth asked Mord that if she is his backup. Ruth also tells Mord that nothing will change because of her, as they will also be killing her along with him. Lexian didn't like deaths by ambush. Your blessing is specialized for preventing ambushes, isn't it? Mord says this to Ruth. Hearing this, Ruth gets shocked, and he asked Mord that, how did he know about the divine blood of Lexian, the god of lake and peace? He was a pretty famous god in the novel MWDW, probably as much as Aiden's bloodline, Magenta. Because of his exclusive skill, which is specialized for defense, the successors of Lexian were never assassinated. Neither stray narrow nor intended assassination would harm them. That's it. It's a powerful blessing because its condition is that you must be by a lake. Mord then tells Ruth that he will get rid of him, first before doing the same to all others. Hearing this, Ruth says that Mord is an arrogant bastard. He further tells Mord that his subordinate will kill his teammates before him. At that time, an arrow flies towards Ruth and hits his head. But due to his blessings, the arrow didn't touch him. Some guys in black clothes shoots this arrow from a hill. These guys are the top 4 elites of the Shadow Wolf squad. Keel is the one who called this guys. The guys then gets down and says that they hid them and come here as fast as possible. They also says that they will be really fast to make up for being late. After that, one guy jumps and shatters the ground, taking down 2 enemies. Ruth gets a bit nervous seeing this master rank guys. One member of the Shadow Squad again shoots an arrow towards Ruth. Ruth blocks the arrow using Mana Shield. The members of the Shadow Squad are having fun to test out the blessings and powers of Ruth. Keel is struggling, so he shouts at them to stop having fun and help him. Ruth is a bit worried after seeing all this master-rank magic combat artist. A master-rank magic combat artist is a rare resource for a nation. Their numbers can be counted on 2 hands, and they are not easy to hire. Ruth wonders that how much the blind old man values Mord. Seeing the worried face of Ruth, Mord tells him not worry, as their fight will be one-on-one, with no one interfering them. Ruth gets angry and he jumps, saying that he admits that they are outnumbered, but also warns Mord not to think that he has won already. Ruth is a fourth tier higher up of the Blood of Silver. He has pretty ample experience in combat compared to the other members of the 24-hour White Silver. He's hunted down other divine bloods multiple times as demanded by the Blood of Silver, and amongst them was a Vernars too. A Vernars may have a strong physique, but only a very few reach the second level of divine blood opening. The Vernars' lack of an artifact made combat easier for Ruth too. Ruth attacks Mord with Impulse Rain, so to tackle it, Mord uses Triple Mirage Destruction. Mord's attack overpowers Ruth's. Due to the Mirage Destruction, Ruth's vision is blocked. Mord used this chance to ambush Ruth from behind. But again, due to Lexion's blessing, Ruth gets saved. Ruth lets his guard down for a bit and says that Mord is naive. Mord uses this time and gives a solid hit on Ruth's face. Upon getting hit, Ruth flies away and falls on the ground. It's not an ambush if you already noticed that could have finished you off, what a shame. Mord says this to Ruth. As Ruth starts to get up, Mord gets serious as he wants to end the fight now. Even if you're a genius, how can this be possible? Ruth shouts this after seeing Mord. Erna and Keel also noticed the immense aura coming from Mord's second divine blood opening. This is impossible. Even if he is as talented as he is, you're telling me that he trained enough to enter the second level in just half a year? Is it because he defeated the demon realms count 1-on-1? That could not have been enough. Mord, just what have you been doing all this time? Erna wonders. A fight with the demon realms Baron, fighting the Blood of Silver's squads as well as Varen, a top-rank warrior, the destruction of the Archlich and 2 high-level mages, defeating the witch cursed by a god and freeing her, and the battle with the demon realm count a few days ago. This also incidents helped Mord getting this powerful so fast. Mord now attacks Ruth with his fist. Ruth blocks it with his artifact soured. But the strength of Mord is so superior that Ruth shakes just from blocking Mord's simple punch. Mord then rushed towards Ruth, saying that he wants to see that how sturdy is the artifact that he is holding. Mord attacks Ruth with Mirage Destruction, but Ruth dodges it. Ruth is scared and is sweating by seeing the overwhelming aura of Mord. Ruth is surprised by seeing the gap between their strength even after he is using an artifact. The power from the Mirage Destruction lights up the surround and caused great damage to the area. Ruth asked Mord that how much power he has hidden. Mord didn't answer. He rushed to attack Ruth. Ruth blocks the punch with his artifact. Mord tells Ruth the reason for his loss is his inability to predict the limits of Mord's strength and his inability to predict the abilities of Mord's teammates. Keel has bloodline of Ancient Elf. Ancient Elf, those of legend who fought with gods, the descendants of the divine tree. Possessing the blood of the ancient elves means that you are an elven noble. But for half-blood to be able to use the power of the ancient elves is a bit shocking. Keel was also surprised to see this. Not long ago after drinking the nectar, Keel was able to successfully activate the divine blood. The 1 TS time when Keel actives the divine blood, Leon gets shocked, and he asked Keel that if he is a monster like Mord. Mord explains Leon the situation. He tells that Keel is not like them. Keel went in the opposite order compared to them. While people like Mord and Leon usually gain aura after becoming a divine blood, but Keel is a master-level magic combat artist, since he was already at a level where he can easily wield aura, so it's normal that he would be able to achieve divine blood opening quickly. Keel actives the Bracelet of Speed to heighten his speed. He then rushed and attacks the enemy. The divine blood enemy blocks it with his sword, but it's of no use as Keel uses his extreme speed and gets behind the man and kicks him. Upon getting kicked, the man flies away and hit the ground. The man is shocked to see this level of speed. Keel then actives the Ring of Electricity and uses the Thunder God's hammer and attacks the man and knocks him out. On the other hand, Mord is beating Ruth. Ruth holds his stomach as he is in great pain. Mord didn't stop there. He rushed to punch Ruth again. Mord lands some consecutive blows. After that, he uses a bit more strength and hits on Ruth's face. Getting hit, Ruth flies away, and he breaks through a tree and lands on the ground. As expected of a god's blessing, to think you'd still be alive. Even when the artifact was broken, Mord says this to Ruth. Ruth's face is covered in bruises, and he is bleeding from his nose. He begs Mord to spare his life. He tries to convince Mord, saying that as he is the fourth higher up, he knows many valuable informations. I don't need it. It's probably nothing special if it's something a fourth tier knows. The real useful information is probably under restriction so that you can't speak of it, Mord says. As Mord is about to attack, Ruth begs for mercy, but Mord didn't give a F about it and launched his punch and kills him. Later we can see at a distant mountain too. Higher-ups of Blood of Sliver is walking. One on them tells the other that they need to look for a new guy for the 24-hour White Sliver. As they are walking, the guy at the front tells that where Ruth died, he sees a greater monster. It's as if a monster that could spell disaster for them opened its eyes and killed off one of the 24-hour White Silvers. The guy at the front is an old man. He asked the other guy that if that person is a divine blood. The young one replies probably and says that after returning from here, he will look into this matter. As they walks into the dark forest, thick fog surrounds them. Within in the fog, two monsters are waiting for them. As they walks further, a dragon lizard-like monster greets them. This monsters are the treacherous dragon army. On gets back to Mord, the situation there is settled. All the enemies are wiped away and everyone is talking about the battle experience. The member of the Shadow Wolf squad asked Keel that, how did he get so strong? Keel tells that the reason for this is Mord. It might get troublesome if the elves of the White Forest find out about you. If they found out that a half-elf like you obtained the power of the ancient elves, the Shadow Wolf squad guy says this to Keel. Keel says, what does it matter what those big-eared pieces of trash say? They tells Keel that to be tainted with dirty blood, he is the shame of their race. They also tells him to get lost from this forest, this instant. Keel tells the man that he will kill them all if they mess with me. The man gets shocked and says that Keel has gotten more violent. Keel says that maybe he has gotten a bit after following Mord. Mord then gives all magic item of the Blood of Sliver to Erna. At first, she didn't want to take it, but as Mord insists, she received the item happily. Eren then asked Mord that what is he going to do now. Mord replies that he will head to north to the White Demon Realm. Hearing this, Erna smiles and tells Mord to be careful as the White Demon Realm is a dangerous place. Mord also tells Erna to be careful from now on, as it could get dangerous for her if people learn of the fact that she knows the Archduke's secret. Mord then tells her that he won't recommend to tell the truth of Archduke to other and increase support. Are you worrying about me, Mord? Don't worry. There shouldn't be a problem since the Archduke and I never meet. Who else should I watch out for? Iran says. Mord tells Erna that there are 10 people that the Archduke trusts. Since Varen is dead, there are only 9. This 9 know the truth of Archduke, and yet they volunteer to act as the Archduke's dog. Expect for Castor. After hearing this, Erna asked Mord that why don't he find Kestner suspicious. Mord replies that he trusts him. Though Keel, Mord finds that Kestner doesn't know about the truth of Archduke. Erna also says that she also don't think that Kestner is someone who would deceive or lie to others. After that, Mord tells that Alan also knows the truth. He is choosing to follow the Archduke willingly, despite it. Hearing this, Erna gets shocked, as Alan is the first son. The person ahead of everyone else in the competition for succession, and also he is the person that they need to be most wary of. After thinking all of this, Erna puts a smile of her face and thanks Mord that they are on the same boat now. After that, Erna takes his leave, saying that they will soon see each other again. Mord also seems happy and says that he is looking forward to it. After that, the two of them goes their ways. Mord and his team starts to walk towards east. Leon asked that where they are going, as this is not the direction of the north. Mord says that before going to north, they are going to stop by a place. Mord tells them that they are going to cross the borders and tells Leon and Keel to get ready. The Shadow Wolf squad members are flowing them. The leader of them is Lowen. He asked Mord. Why is he going to east by crossing the border? Mord replies that they have business there. Intermediate warrior Mord, do you not realize the situation you are in? Lowen asked. Mord replies that he is sure that he understands it better than anyone in the world. Upon hearing this, Lowen asked Mord that then why is he taking the long way? The reason Mord is going to east is to collect the world fragments. But he didn't tells this to Lowen and says that he has personal work to do. After that, he will go to north. Lowen says that he is against this. He can't let Mord put himself in a greater danger for no reason. All right, then let's split up here. Thanks for the help until now. Mord says this to Lowen. Hearing this, Lowen stands silent. Mord further tells Lowen to take the shortest route to north and they will go this way. Mord, you're highly valued by General Ilden. It is our duty to bring you to him safely. You're an intermediate warrior of the Gatekeeper legend. Don't you think that you should fall under my command since we're together right now? Lowen says this in a rude tone. Keel gets a bit tense, but the word that Lowen said makes sense, as Lowen has the highest seniority in the Shadow Wolf squad. But the reason Keel is worried as Mord is not someone who will work under him. Sir Lowen, you seem to be greatly misunderstanding something. Let me make this clear. First, I am not affiliated to any organization currently. Second, I have no intention of joining your squad. Lastly, I was promised my right to freedom for 8 months from General Ilden. Is your duty not to protect me until I make it to the north? To me, it just looks like you're pissed that your mission is going to be dragged out. Don't try to tell me what to do just because you value your comfort more. You have two choices. Either you come with us and help us or you split up from us and go north. Mord says this to Lowen and his squad. Upon hearing this, Lowen gets angry and says that Mord is all talk, and if he is not going to obey his orders, he has no choice but to force him to come with them. Saying this, Lowen points his sword at Mord. Mord also gets angry and his aura changes. He then asked Lowen if he thinks that he can do that. A fight is about to occur. Leon asked Keel that they should stop them. Keel tells Leon to wait, as it's not a bad idea to make sure they know who has the upper hand here. The fight begins, both of them attacks. The collision of their attack creates a use wave. Mord thinks that despite seeing him fighting, this man still challenges him, so this man must be confident in his skills. Lowen blocks Mord punch and is fight with him on equal footing. Seeing this, Leon says that Lowen much stronger than he anticipated. Lowen is a legend in our squad. He's taken down Ordars, guys who were level 2 in Divine Blood opening, and he didn't really try that hard earlier since we had the upper hand in the fight. Keel says this to Leon. He's that strong? Then is Mord at a disadvantage here? Lowen asked. Keel replies, no. Although Lowen may be strong, but he's still human. However, Mord is a monster. Mord gathers mana around his fist and attacks Lowen with Mirage Destruction. Lowen stops it with his sword, but he gets pushed back. Lowen is surprised to see that how much Mord has grown in the last half year. He also decides to attack Mord with his ultimate technique. Lowen starts to gather mana and points it on his sword. Seeing the concentration of mana Mord gets, that Lowen is trying to win with brute force, so Mord also does the same and gathers mana around his fist. After preparing both of them, rushed at each out. As they are about to collide at that time, a boy comes between them and stops both of their attacks. The boy tells Lowen to stop as any more, then this will be problematic for him. Short dark hair, eye patch over his left eye. Seeing this, Mord recognizes this boy. The boy then looks at Mord and greets him as the young master. This boy's name is Farewell Nyer, and he is Aiden's friend. Lowen tells the boy to leave this to him, as he wants to teach Mord a lesson. There's no need. It's not like Mord is wrong. Plus, I doubt that you're skilled enough to be the one to teach him a lesson. The boy says this to Lowen. Mord then breaks the defense skill of Nyer with just his aura. Seeing this, Lowen gets shocked as when he attacked the defense skill, it didn't budge a bit. Nyer then looks at Mord and says that he wants to talk with him. Nyer says that he has some business with Mord. After that, Nyer takes Mord to a corner and introduces himself to Mord. He says that he is Farewell Nyer and he is a mage in the Shadow Wolf Squad. Mord already know this as Nyer is one of the main characters of the novel. Farewell Nyer, a boy who taught Aiden, who had lost his family and mentor, the pain of losing a dear friend. His family had been massacred by a half-divine blood organization called Prexaras, and he had joined Aiden's party in order to get revenge. The two shared many similarities, which helped them grow closer quickly, and for 2 years, they fought through many obstacles together. They managed to greatly damage Prexaras and the Sage of Darkness, but Nyer ends up dying, trying to protect Aiden without getting his revenge. According to the novel, all of this incident will occur in the next 2 years, and at this point in time, the two didn't even know each other. Mord then asked Nyer that what business he had with him. Nyer says that it's for a personal matter. General Ilen told him that Mord would be able to solve his issue. Nyer then asked Mord that if he had heard about the name Prexaras. Of course, Mord replies. Nyer gets stunned to hear that Mord heard the name Prexaras. Mord then says that Prexaras is an organization that goes around hunting divine bloods with the goal of becoming the gods of the modern era. He then asked Nyer that why is he suddenly asking about them. Nyer gets astonished and asks Mord that how did he know all of that. Is that important? I think I know them better than you do, at least, Mord says. Nyer is utterly speechless. He looks at Mord with his mouth wide open. Mord then tells Nyer to quickly get to the point. Nyer grinds his teeth and suddenly he kneels down in front of Mord and says that he will help him from now on, and in return Mord also had to help him get his revenge. Nyer also says that General Ilen said that Mord would be capable of locating and eliminating Prexaras. Hearing this, Mord asked Nyer that what can he do for him. I'm a high-ranking 5th Circle mage. I noticed that you don't have a mage in your party. I will use my skills for your sake if I can just get revenge. Nyer says this to Mord. Upon hearing this, Mord agrees to take Nyer in his party. Mord then thinks that Farewell Nyer is talented a mage, as Aiden is. And it's not hard to get rid of Prexaras, as they're a pretty small organization. Prexaras will disappear because of a conflict with the Blood of Silver later on, but if they get rid of them earlier on, it'll prevent them from doing all the harm they potentially would have done. Most importantly, Mord would be taking Aiden's future party member, and that alone is a great benefit for Mord. After that, Mord and his party, along with Nyer, sits around a bonfire. Mord then tells Nyer that he will have to work a few years in the Gatekeeper Legion. It's for his own growth. Mord asked Nyer that if it's fine with him as he won't be able to help. Him, get revenge right away. However, to show Nyer that Mord is capable of helping him get revenge, he tells Leon to bring out the items. Leon comes with a wooden box and gives it to Nyer. As he opens it, he sees some incredible items. There is a magic staff in the box. As Nyer holds the staff in his hand, he gets that it's a much better one than his. There is also a spell archive necklace and earrings of mana restraint. There is a very rare book that can only be found in ancient ruins. Nyer then asked Leon that, how come they have such incredible items? Leon smiles and says that they have saved these for the mage that will join their party. Magic is very hard to level up without outside resources, since an immense amount of magical knowledge has built up over the decades. In other words, it's much easier to just learn using other resources than to try and create new things. Nyer is a more powerful mage than Ilen at this point in time. He's 5th circle already at the age of 15. This is Mord's chance to foster a mage. Nyer is happy with these items. He tells Mord that he will repay him for this, no matter what he has to do. Mord says that there is no need for that. This is for persuading Lowen. Mord finds it pretty fun to make his party members stronger using Huss knowledge from novel. He also wants to see how fast this guy grows. Nyer then asked Mord that how old is he? Mord replies that he is 15 years old. Sorry? The world sure is big. I didn't think someone as monstrous as you could be my age. Nyer says this. Hearing this, Mord asked Nyer that did he just call him a monster? Sorry, but I can't think of any other to describe you. I'm excited to see where you will take me, Nyer says. Mord replies that he won't be disappointed. After that, in the next morning, Mord and his little party reached the northwest of the continent, Vert Kingdom. The 7 of them starts to roam around the city. Lowen then asked Mord that as now they are here, what is he planning to do? Mord replies that nothing much. They are just going to destroy a few places. Hearing this, Lowen and Nyer get stunned. Keel and Leon is normal as all this time they have been doing this type of work. Rowan of the Shadow Wolf Squad. He has survived as an active combatant for over 20 years in the White Labyrinth, accumulating vast combat experience. Whether it's against people, monsters, or demonized dungeons, even regular dungeons were familiar to him. But now, as he sees Mord, he gets surprised, as Mord found a ruin without any prior information. Mord headed toward a rural village near the border. Suddenly, he chanted a spell in the village hall basement, and a passage leading to the ruins appeared before him. Rion wonders if Mord had informations about this ruins. He also thinks that the older the ruin, the more cautious one must be of traps, but Mord breaks through all the traps with sheer strength. Mord then goes inside and stands in front of a pillar, and he tells all of them that from here on, their roles will be crucial. They asked Mord what he meant by roles. From now on, attacks will come from 4 directions. Please block them well, Mord replies. He then touches the pillar and says that light circles will appear on the floor from time to time. At that time, at least one person must be inside the circle. Otherwise, defending will become more difficult. The Shadow Wolf members are so confused, they asked Mord that what he is talking about. At that time, from the 2 portals, magic golems starts to appear and rushed towards them. The magic circle on the floor also appeared. Rion is so mesmerized seeing that everything is happening just as Mord said. Time is short. Mord can't visit every ruin and dungeon, but by optimizing the route to the north, he must obtain everything he can. The golems are taken down easily, and Mord and his team gets at the center of the ruin. Leon finds a nectar. Leon is very happy as Mord has given the nectar for him. Drink Lowen asked, that isn't nectar is something that only appears in myths, yes. Unlike the counterfeits created in wicked ways with silver blood, this is a genuine one made during the mythic era, Mord replies. He then thinks that this is the reason that the silver blood attacked Aiden's family, because modern nectar is made from unawakened divine blood as a sacrificial offering. Now, out of the 5 Mord know of, 2 have been used. Mord has to think about how to use the 3rd one that can be obtained in the north. Leon's lacking talents have been supplemented by nectar. He should be able to reach the level of a master soon. Nyer asked that where to next? A ruin? A dungeon? Mord reply no, and says that this time the task is trash cleanup. After that, we can see that a guy is beating a group of men. The men offered him money and requests him to leave them alone. The yellow-haired guy is holding a knife and is drawing something on the ground. After finishing his drawing, he tells the man that if he wants money, he can get tons of it without their help. But the reason he is doing this is for sacrificial offering. Hearing this, the men tremble in fear. The yellow-haired boy then claps his hand and the magic circle on the ground lights up and the group of man vanishes in thin air. Seeing this, the yellow-haired man gets happy, as from this offering he get a ball of mana. This boy's name is Amit. He is one of the 9 god candidates of Prexarus. In this world, there are many secret organizations, but Prexarus has the simplest goal of them all, becoming a god. Prexarus is both the name of the group and the name of a relic left behind by an ancient god. The relic chooses 9 god candidates and grants them power whenever they offer valuable sacrifices. The sacrifices varied: living humans, humans of special bloodlines, strong humans, humans with high magic power and divine blood. After performing the sacrificial offering, Amit gets back to his home. As he enters, he sees that no one is there. Then a voice comes to his ears which says, "What were you doing outside to be this late?" Amit looks up and sees Mord. He asked Mord that who is he and what he did to his employees. "I killed them both. They were eating human flesh. They even set up a human butcher shop in the basement," Mord says. Upon hearing this, Amit looks at Mord angrily and asks that if he is sent by another god candidate. As you live, unexpected tragedies tend to come your way. In your life that just happened to be today, Mord says this while looking down on Amit from the 2nd floor. As Mord says this, his teammates also come and stands by his side. "Nyer, every time I close my eyes, that horrific moment comes back to life. The metallic scent of blood spreads through the rain, the screams echoing through the village. Farewell, you must survive." Now back to the present. Mord and his team has cornered Amit. His one hand is cut off, and it starts to regenerate. Leon gets frustrated and asked Amit that what kind of a monster is he that even after getting beaten for 1 hour start, he is still able to regenerate. Nyer looks at Amit from behind. He gets that he is unable to compete with his monster, who has incredible regeneration speed. Mord then asks Nyer if this is his enemy. Nyer shakes his head and says, "Yes." Hearing this, Mord tells Nyer that he will leave his fate in Nyer's hands, as he has spent all his strength, so he'll be easy to handle. Nyer gets it and starts to walk towards Amit. As he gets closer, he says, "Amit, was it? I have many questions for you. Please don't die easily." On this day, one of the 9 god candidates of Prexarus vanished. And then time passed. Mord's party arrives at the White Labyrinth. On their way to the labyrinth, the group destroyed the 3rd of the Arch-Lich Lord's 7 souls, leaving a total of 4 remaining souls. The Dark Sage attacked one of the main branches, the Count of Hooven's territory, delivering a significant blow to the Dark Sage. They also acquired additional shards of the world, bringing the total number of shards to 13. At the same time, in the Count of Hooven's territory, a guy in red robes come and by seeing the scene, he gets mad and shouts, "Who the hell did this?" As Mord has reached the White Realm, he goes to meet up with Ilen. Seeing him, Ilen says that he is faster than he expected. Mord says hello to General Ilen and says thanks for sending the reinforcements. Mord then says that the gap in power was too great before. Even during their 20 days of sparring, Ilen never once went all out. So Mord tells Ilen to show him his full power right now. Upon hearing this, Ilen gets up and crashed the stone table with his hand. He then says that it must have been a forced march. "I'd like to let you rest today, but since you insist, I suppose I have no choice. Let's see what you've achieved so far." After that, 2 of them gets to the White Labyrinth training hall. After going there, Ilen removes his cedar and says that, unlike the Grand Castle, here he don't have to worry about prying eyes, so he tells Mord to go wild from the start. Mord gets that there is no pint holding back, so he decides to go all out from the start. Mord rushed towards Ilen while unleashing his divine blood stage. 2. Ilen blocks the attack and laughs, saying that Mord has already reached this stage. Ilen gets that Mord is surpassing the current Grand Duke's genius-like talent. Mord rushed towards Ilen. Ilen is being pushed back. Seeing this, Mord thinks that he can defeat Ilen. He then unleashed a powerful blow. As Ilen blocks it, a huge shock wave creates due to their immense powers. The whole building trembles due to this shock wave. Keel and the others wonders that what the hell the two of them are doing. Ilen starts to fight back and Mord is getting pushed back. Mord then thinks that since he is fighting a human, the fanatical body is meaningless. In that case, Mord decide of increasing body weight tenfold with the warrior's body and activating the world shard. As Mord is about to attack, he tells Ilen to give his all, or he might really die. Ilen laughs hearing this. After that, Mord lands the attack on Ilen. The ground of the training ground gets completely shattered. Ilen blocked the attack and he is unscratched. Ilen laughs and says that he really can't believe it. Even experiencing it firsthand, he still can't believe it, to think Mord would force him into this form. Ilen has unleashed his Divine Blood Stage 3. Divine Blood Unleashed, Stage 3. Unlike Stages 1 and 2, this stage directly envelops the body with divine power. Ilen then tells Mord that he don't know how he did it, but he has increased his weight. Mord also says that the same goes for him. It doesn't seem overwhelmingly intimidating in appearance, but it feels like your weight has doubled. You must have tapped into the power of the warrior's body, even if only slightly. As of now, only Leon and I possess the power of the warrior's body in this world. The warrior's body is so advanced that even Ilen in Stage 3 of Divine Blood can barely draw it out. If Ilen had fully acquired the power, its effects wouldn't be this limited. While Mord is lost in his thought, Ilen tells that he only mastered this power after reaching Stage 3 of Divine Blood, but Mord seemed to wield it with much greater ease. Mord asked Ilen that if he desire this power. "What? You're speaking as if you could grant that power if I wanted it," Ilen says. Mord says that he can. Upon hearing this, Ilen gets shocked, and he asked Mord that is he saying. Mord then says that under his guidance, he will be able to master this power, but of course he can't teach it for free. Ilen asked Mord that what is his demand. Mord says that he wants two things from him. First is sincerity. Sincerity, what do you mean? Ilen wonders. No beating around the bush. Let's be open and talk about what's truly on our minds, Mord replies. Hearing this, Ilen starts to think. Mord wants the sincerity of Ilen because the sincerity of Ilen, which even the three-poison demon couldn't draw out, and he is curious about Ilen's story. Mord then says that the other thing he wants is to give him Keel. What? Keel? Haha. You speak as if asking a father for his daughter's hand. You don't want Rowan? Ilen asked. I don't need a sly old man, Mord replies. Ilen then says that does it have to be Kyle? He was just following his orders when he helped Emrod. Just because it was someone's order doesn't mean that risking his life is any less valuable, so I'll be taking Kyle with me, Mord says. Perhaps you value Keel more than anyone else in the world. You can take Keel. I was planning on creating a team head anyway. Ilen says this to Mord. Mord gets a bit confused and asked Ilen that how is he going to make his own team as he has just joined and he is also an intermediate warrior. Ilen tells Mord that it would be stupid to leave him at the intermediate rank within the Legion. Ilen then turns around and tells Mord to follow him as they will have to discuss this matter in private. After that, the two of them goes to Ilen's office and takes their seats. Ilen then shows the photos of Mord's teammates. Seeing this, Mord didn't have a reaction as he expected this. And these guys are the only ones Mord could consider taking into his team. The first member is Keel. The second one is Leon, who has been with him for a while. And the last member is Farwell Nyer. While eating cookies, Ilen tells Mord that Farwell seemed to be pretty obedient to him, and it's always nice to have a mage on the team. Ilen also says that he wanted to help Farwell grow stronger by his side. But he was worried because his desire for revenge was too intense. Ilen smiles and says that it's a good thing that this mage likes Mord. He then leaves this topic and asked Mord that what did he find out from this journey of his. Mord replies that he know that the Archduke is a monster who eats his own children to maintain his youth. He also tells Ilen that he has shared this information with Erna, and now she also knows about it. If you told Erna the truth, that must mean that you considered her someone worthy of becoming the future Archduke. Do you believe that she can surpass the Archduke? Ilen asked. Mord says that he does believe that she is worthy of becoming the next Archduke. However, whether or not she can surpass the Archduke is irrelevant, because he is going to be the one to kill the Archduke. Mord also says that he also know that Ilen wished to bring down the Archduke, and that Ilen is searching for someone who is willing to fight the Demon King's incarnation once a year in order to protect the seal. Mord says that he assumed that that's why Ilen is helping him. How do you know that? Only a very few know about this, because it's sealed by an oath of divine punishment. Ilen asked Mord. Mord replies that the power of divine within him told him about this. Mord chooses to be bold as if he tells Ilen about the details. Obviously, he wouldn't believe it. Ilen is shocked. He asked Mord that what did he mean. Mord didn't reply. He tells Ilen that it's his turn to ask the questions. Mord then asked Ilen that why did he wants to kill the Archduke. Is the fact that Harden took both my eyes as well as my position as the Archduke away from me not enough? Ilen asked. Mord says no and tells Ilen that he has to face the Archduke with his life on the line for him, so he would like to know the truth at the very least. Hearing this, Ilen stays silent for a bit and thinks deeply. After a while, he agrees to tell Mord the story of what happened between Harden and him. After that, late at night, we can see that at the Archduke's office, the Archduke is doing some paperwork. In the room, he was alone. Suddenly, he speaks up and says, "That have you come to make up excuses for your uselessness?" We can see that there is a shadow floating in front of Harden. From the shadow, a voice comes, and it seeks the permission of the Archduke to stand in front of him. The Archduke permits it. After that, from the shadow, a yellow-haired man appears. The man says hello to Harden and introduces him. He says that he is a 20-tier executive of the Blood of Silver's 8 stars, and his name is Killian. Seeing him, the Archduke says that he is envious. Killian asked what he means by this. The Archduke replies that his exterior appears so youthful despite the old monster that lies within. Killian laughs and says that it's embarrassing. Killian also looks at Harden and thinks that, in order to maintain this kind of youth, one need to have a very high level of magic. One need to transcend way above the 9th circle. Killian wonders if the divinity of Vernars was always this powerful. Harden then asked Killian that what he wants. Killian replies that he wants to apologize for his failure. Killian says that when he heard that Mord was Ilen's favorite, he should have known to prepare himself more thoroughly, but he did not. Hearing this, Harden says that it took Mord a while to reach the north as well, and it looks like he overestimated Killian's skills. Killian lowers his head and says that he sincerely apologizes, and to make up for his failure, he had prepared something. Saying this, Killian takes out a fancy bottle and tells Archduke that this is nectar. Nectar is called the drink of the gods in legends. It has the ability to reinforce the power of the divine blood within. Killian says that it's usually watered down and given to their members as a reward, but since it's to express his apology, this is the pure concentrate. Killian hands over the nectar to Archduke and says that he wants to ask for a favor. Archduke asked, "What is it?" "Please permit us to directly intervene in the north to kill Mord," Killian says. Hearing this, Archduke asked Killian, "That does he realize what that means? He might have to fight Ilen if he goes there." Killian replies that he is completely aware of this. All of the Archdukes in the past have been wary of the Gatekeeper legend. This is because the White Demon realm and Principality of Vernars are far from each other, making it hard to assert their dominance over the legend. It might have been better if the general had been someone loyal to the Archduke, but currently it's Ilen, and he considers the Archduke an enemy. After thinking for a while, Harden permits Killian. After that, Killian starts to leave and says that he will see him again soon. As Killian is about to leave, Harden stops him and tells him to answer this to him before he go. Harden says that he assumed that he wasn't the first one to work with them. So he wants to know who were the first ones. Killian says, that's not a difficult question. Before they allied with Harden, the person they worked with years ago was Ilen Vernars. Back to Mord and Ilen. Ilen starts to tell Mord about his and Harden's story. If Ilen was considered a genius, then Harden would have been considered a monster. Ilen learned to open his divine blood at the age of 16, but Harden had learned to do it by the age of 15, not even half a year after he awakened. Ilen. Congratulations, Harden, for his achievement, as it didn't bother him. Ilen believed that he would become the Archduke anyway if he just focused on his own duties. But that was just the beginning. The deeds of Harden spread like wildfire. People talked about how he quickly finished his demonification missions, and he has gone to the 8 Great Labyrinth. People starts to call him the reincarnation of the god of combat. Divine blood development, aura, all the things Ilen had earned with his blood, sweat, and tears, Harden earned with ease, as if they were nothing. However, what sealed the deal was when Harden was picked as the representative for the duel between the Tsar Kingdom and the Urfin Empire. The opponent had chosen the Ortis household as their representative, and the Empire had chosen the Vernars household as its representative. Because the Ortis household had been Vernar's rival for a very long time, the result of this duel was going to have a big impact on their image for dozens, if not hundreds, of years to come. The Tsar Kingdom had dominion over the west of the continent, and the Urfin Empire had dominion over the east. The conflict that had occurred in the gray area led to a war. However, the two did not wish for a big war. They decided that they would decide the results of the war by choosing 5 warriors as representatives to fight for each nation. If the winner of a duel wished to, they were allowed to continue fighting and face the next opponent as well. In the end, it became Harden's stage. No one was able to last more than 5 minutes in a fight against Harden. After that, everyone in the continent knew who Harden was. Ilen became anxious, as if things continued like this, he was going to end up having his position as successor stolen from him. That's when the blood of silver came to Ilen. Upon hearing this, Mord asked Ilen that if he made a contract with them. Ilen replies, yes, and says that the blood of Sliver said that they would make him the successor. In return for helping them, Ilen was promised something called the nectar. Ilen says that he accepted the Silver Blood's offer, and he didn't mind their goal of creating a world where only those of divine blood rule. That was just the norm for someone of the Vernars bloodline. But the problem was when Ilen found out the secret of the nectar. Ilen sees the way the blood of silver makes the nectar. He gets shocked and asked the executive of Blood of Sliver that what the hell are they doing? There needs to be sacrifices for the greater good. Their divine blood is too weak. They are no use to this world. Don't you think that they should be happy to be of help to us? The executive of the Sliver blood says this of Ilen. The nectar was made through the sacrifices of the innocent. Ilen didn't like this, and he punched the man right in the face. Ilen had become an accomplice to their crime without knowing it. He killed all of the members of the Blood of Silver that were present there. That's what began the ill-fated relationship between them. After that, the Blood of Silver tried to interfere with whatever Ilen tried to do, and behind his back, they helped Harden become the successor. Seeing this continue, Ilen decided to make a choice. He requested Harden for the god of combat spirit. That was Ilen's last struggle after losing in the succession battle. It was a challenge he had no reason to accept. Harden gladly accepted the challenge, and in the end, Harden come out victorious. Like a true warrior, Harden did not avoid the challenge. Ilen lost in front of everyone, and Harden became the Archduke. Harden then asked Ilen to be in charge of the Gatekeeper legend, but Ilen don't think of this as an act of pity. Harden gave him a chance to get out of an environment where everyone would whisper about him. During the duel, at least, they recognized each other as worthy rivals. Ilen was able to escape the pressure of the family and the blood of silver to become a warrior. Nothing more, nothing less. It was peaceful for a while. Ilen believed that everything had worked out, but the Archduke began to age suddenly and rapidly without a known cause, and the blood of silver used that chance to get in contact with Harden. Unlike Ilen, Harden chose to work with them despite knowing what they did. The blood of silver used his obsession with his role to manipulate him. In the end, Harden truly came to believe that he was the only one who could protect the seal of the Demon King and became a monster that justified his own cruel actions. Ilen couldn't let Harden be manipulated by those cruel bastards anymore. That's when Ilen began searching for hope, someone with the potential to bring down Harden. Someone who would retake the freedom of the Werner's family and Harden. Hearing all of this, Mord gets that Ilen didn't want to kill Harden for his position, but he has a righteous cause for that. Mord wondered that if this is the reason everyone trusts and are loyal to him. Mord then thanks Ilen for sharing this story with him. He asked Ilen that if he know about something called the Stone Tablet of Postscript. Later we can see Mord is walking at the hallway. At that time, Keel comes and asked Mord that is it true that he asked Ilen if he could take him. Keel also says that General Ilen told him to stay by Mord's side, even if it meant he may face him one day. Keel wonders that what did Mord do to Ilen that made him say something like that to him? Keel then tells Mord to promise him one thing, that he will grant General Ilen's one wish, and if he can promise that to him, he can even sacrifice himself for him. Mord nods his head and says that he promised he is going to make Ilen's wish come true no matter what. Hearing this, Keel laughs and he starts to walk with Mord. Even at this moment, Keel had no idea of the great calamity that would come to him the next day.